It's time we delve right headfirst into this fountain, and we've only got the one level available so far, and I hope as soon as I can access another one, I'm gonna head and do that, because this level is the Space Junk Galaxy.
I forget, can you access other galaxies out of water?
Only once you have enough stars to do so. At this point, without star bits, this is my only option. Well, technically, we'll get into that later. This is the Space Junk Galaxy, my least favorite galaxy in all of Mario Galaxy. I can't really pinpoint the reason why I don't like it so much compared to the other galaxies. I think it's just the lack of landmarks and the amount of star bits. It just feels so generically space-themed. I
actually kind of feel that as refreshing. Every single other planet is so not in space, even though it is in space.
It tries to be like a unique thing. Oh, those giant star bits over there don't count as star bits until we break open through them with a launch star.
Is that a sun in the distance?
Actually, anytime you see that huge lighting effect in the distance, that is where the star is located. It gives you an idea of how far away you are. But not really, because every time you get a launch star, it can send you miles out of the way.
And once you get close, that blinding light is just the Chief Toad?
And those things are quite electrifying.
Oh, right, that's why I don't like Galaxy. The movement on small planets is really awkward.
If you look at the top of the bottom of the rocket ship, which is at the top of the screen, you'll see star bits are landing in an odd intervals. I'm trying to time it exactly right because this star launcher will make me land on a white star bit. When it occurs, there it is. It went just away, and I have time to run before the next color star bit comes in, and that's a really difficult thing to overcome because if you're playing at a regular pace, when you get to the launch star is when you'll land on the white star bit. It's a good thing I'm as talented at the game to avoid as many pull stars as possible, but the gravity here goes... This sphere has gravity all the way up this section, so if I dropped the bubble, even at this point, or another 20 feet up in the sky, you'd fall straight back onto that sphere. And it's ridiculous.
So is there any way to die in this level?
From falling? Later on, yes. But not in these sections. You can get killed by these, jumping spiders.
So, do those spiders just wait for prey to walk underneath them?
And then they trap them in crystals, yes. Now, the Toad Brigade, how did you let this happen?
Off to go find his glasses. Weren't they supposed to be working on a spaceship?
Yes, the Star Shroom, but it hasn't been finished apparently because they're all stuck here on this crystallized platform.
How?
Which just ends up throwing star bits at me every second and a half or so. So it's really hard just to get back up there and free everybody. Funny you should mention that. Now, the only reason I had to free those toads is because there's a launch star I couldn't reach on the other side of the Star Shroom.
You aren't gonna go free to Goomba?
I sing my own theme song. That's technically not true, Toad. The Sling Star was already there. You just parked a ship underneath it so I could reach it. Now gravity doesn't behave like it did before. You can tell because the platform is tapered off in quite an odd way. We're stuck here on the platform. And gravity goes straight down. And while this looks quite dangerous, the platforms get there in an instant of a time, and there's no way you can jump where they're supposed to be and have them not be there. they are completely dependent, their location is completely dependent on where Mario is in relation to it. And these are the silver stars, which are new to Mario Galaxy. Each silver star is 1/5 of a regular star. And this sort of replaces, that proves that the objects have collision outside of their pulled together state. This silver stars function somewhat like the red coins of the previous games, because those are no longer a thing in Mario Galaxy. These behave like, okay, go collect all these little things and then you'll get a star.
So, those things were sentient, right?
The silver stars?
Yes, they were making sound effects while you collected them.
I'm going to say that they're... Maybe the Toad, captain found the power star, tried to grab it, but he squeezed too hard and it popped open into silver stars, and he's like, I don't want to complicate things further, let's just get Mario to handle this.
So, if you go back to previous levels and you grab 5 silver stars from the missions you already complete, would you get a new power star?
If there were silver stars in them, but there aren't.
Aren't? Once you grab a star, once you go back to a galaxy, doesn't it appear as a silver star?
It actually appears as a hollow star, as if it were made of glass or crystal, which is different from Sunshine and 64, where they were dark blue. Now this stage actually redeemed itself a bit from the standard space junk theme, because we don't have any of that space junk to deal with. And from now on, we're pretty much going to be dealing with the Toad Brigade from here on out.
Is that a second Shroom star?
Oh yeah, that's where the sleeping one lies. I really just love standing on the outside of my ship. Well, what did you expect, Toad? They're weak. I mean, look at their leader.
It was just so dark, they couldn't...
See, that's the type of leader I want to be. I want to be the one that stays behind next to the launch star, conveniently not knowing how it works. I don't know, I can't rescue them. I'll wait for Mario.
Well, you can't spin unless you have a Luma, though.
Right. Hey, knock knock.
Who's there?
Starbit.
Starbit who?
Starbit, who's actually a coin.
I think there's someone trapped in there.
Well, that's just Crate. That's the smartest move I've made in this recording so far. It's all booby-trapped. The question marks are really just misleading. It's always Starbits in those. I don't know why I keep trying to open them. Oh, what am I thinking? This is Mario Galaxy. Everything is solved with a spin.
Bunnies. Bunnies are Lumas, aren't they?
Arguably?
So, why again can't they step on a switch?
Yeah, because they could always just transform into bunnies. We are completely useless. I mean, look at this. We can't even collect coins without jumping and spinning. I mean, there's no way we can cross that gap without jumping and spinning. I mean, how are we going to progress through the level without jumping and spinning? Oh, here's where we drain out all of the airship's fuel and it'll crash into the ground, and... See, that is dangerous. I mean, there's like a 10% chance that I survived that. And I could have doubled down and opened up the question mark block above it for extra star bits.
Ooh, great, now you can swim everywhere.
No, the Koopa Shell behaves quite, more like Fruit from Sunshine did. You just throw it at things and it flies through the air without gravity to care.
I thought that only worked in that one Boo level.
How would you like it if I hit you with the shell? The green one always gives the least useful advice. That's right, the only way to open up these treasure chests is to hit them with a green shell.
A sword!
Normally
Aw.
there's nothing in there that's worth finding a green shell and throwing it at it. Also, you can't do backflips or long jumps while holding a shell. Side flips and triple jumps.
Dungeon map. Aw.
You can't spin because that throws your shell, right? And as you can see, that lens flare is getting quite noticeable.
Is it on the ship?
It's in that general vicinity, even though it's technically not. That's where we need to go to actually see it.
Warp pipe, you tricked me.
I think I can just sneak my way out of here and everything should be fine. How would you like to wake up in a room full of thousands of starbits just with their eyes fixed unblinking on you?
So sparkly!
Oh, wait a minute, there was a door down there. I wonder if anybody's home. Nope.
Isn't this the shiniest thing you've ever seen?
If you just bookend your messages with a music note, does that mean the entire thing was in song form?
Those things are octopuses?
Well, you can tell they're octopuses because of the 8 arms, right?
Are those arms?
Oh, they've got the antenna on their head. That's kind of like an arm, right?
I've seen they've gotten smarter to the point where they don't shoot coconuts anymore.
And the Koopas themselves have actually evolved to be infinitely spawning. If only they had that technology back when Mario was in 2D. Red Koopa shells, just like their Mario Kart equivalents, are homing shells.
They will hit whoever's in front of you?
It hardly ever comes into play. I'm not even sure if there are another red shell in the entire game. That was an idea they just decided to scrap immediately. You can tell it's Kamela's airship because of the color scheme. Oh, damn it.
So velvet!
Now I'm over here, and I promise that was not a jump cut. Meet Kamela, the original creation of Mario Galaxy. Kamela's a Magic Koopa with green lipstick and a Power Star Rod, who's not very good at combat. In Galaxy, you can't actually get hurt by a Koopa shell. You can get knocked over, but it does no damage. One of the benefits of space travel, I guess.
And when you're down here, you're impervious?
Pretty much. That's the place you want to go if you don't want to get hurt for a while. Also, they lowered the drawbridge so we can't retreat.
Does touching him hurt you at all?
Yes. But you can spin him. It doesn't hurt him. It knocks him out of whatever animation he's currently doing.
So,
and also it's a good
just in case you don't want
hide.
Koopa shells to throw at them, you can always...
Just wait until there are more. And you can always hide on the lower levels to avoid the star bits until they dissipate. It's actually a speedrun tactic to spin him when he's about to throw a fireball, so then he'll just throw a shell immediately afterwards. And it's really difficult to do, and...
It kept that animation from Sunshine.
and I can't do it at all.
Great balls of fire.
Damn it, I was thinking that exact second. I was gonna say goodness gracious, though.
Shelling out that punishment.
And Mario's disappointed because he was actually after the rod the whole time.
That's what she said.
Okay, 2 times I mess up, I'm pretty sure that it's going to be a trap and I'm going to avoid it.
What does Rosalina do?
Lets Mario do all the legwork. And the stars do all of the star work, so she's really, really a useless person.
Brilliant.
I ought to ship this straight back to the observatory.
And because you just completed the first level of the first new galaxy, you're gonna have to feed this Black Luma 5 more star bits.
Not only are they pouring water out of the fountain, they're pouring it in. So where is it coming from? But there's only one more in the Space Junk Galaxy. I think I'd rather knock it out now, never have to return to it, than have it always looming over my head. That is not Terrantox's Tangled Web. That is over to the behind the spaceship there. The second act of Mario Galaxy, the one that revolves largely around the Toad Brigade, is probably my least favorite part, where every level you get sent straight onto a Toad ship, a Star Shroom, and then you go through the level. I prefer the opening and the end of the game much to that.
Brilliant Predators.
Also, Pole Stars. There are star bits out on that platform in the distance, and if my star pointer touched it, I would have grabbed them. Also, there's no way you can actually land your bubble onto the alternate path, either this time or the time before you're railroaded to where you're supposed to go. Now, the glass here is so close to that star launcher that you can get sucked up underneath it through the glass.
I actually think I did accidentally make that star spin me through the first time.
Damn you.
I had to restart this level to see what was down in that orb. I was very disappointed. It was a little neat. I went to that same exact star the first time, and so I ended up going off the path and getting lost.
Accidental speedrunner Blind Cat Johnson. And if you can't break through the glass, you have to go through this entire hullabaloo. It's not really a maze because the wooden bars lead straight towards the launch star.
Just hug the left.
Now gravity is very deadly again. And welcome to one of my most hated mechanics in Galaxy. These are sling pods, and if you're very careful, you can avoid star bits when using them. And if you're intelligent, you don't use them at all. Of course, we can shoot him off into the void of space, and there's no consequences for it.
Oh, the spaceship from earlier. Still worthless.
This one is much smaller, actually.
Wait, isn't that, it looks like Olimar's ship.
Yeah, that is the Dolphin. Not quite. I'm going to choose which one is true.
Can you launch yourself somewhere besides that planet?
It is a very forgiving hitbox. I don't think you can launch yourself anywhere but the planet if you try. Also, there's no way to get out of a sling pod that you've already entered. Shaking, ground pounding, nothing. You have to launch yourself. I would be fine with them if that weren't the case.
Instead, you just slam his head into a rock.
That's a mild concussion, Green Toad. Or we could have shot him through the spider web.
Boxed up in there that entire time? What a recluse.
This is Terrantox, and he is the bane of my existence, of Starbit Challenge. His general deal is he's going to spit acid at you from his mouth, and if you hit him in the face, or any of those green blobs on his side, he'll get stunned for a little bit, which will allow you to get around him to hit him in the back, which will flip him over and reveal his 3 weak points. Now, instead of him flipping over every time you hit a weak point and making you flip him over again, you get to hit all 3 weak points in a row, and the boss is very easily dealt with that way. Hope you enjoyed it. But then they make you fight the same boss again. And this is the problem, because starbits get spewed all over the arena, and 19 times out of 20, they land directly on Mario. And the thing about that is, even if they don't land directly on you, his acid will force you either to the left or to the right, which generally leads straight into an impossibly to dodge field of mine starbits. Jesus Christ, Mario! At this rate, Peach is going to become a Black Widow.
Is his feet suction cups? How does that work?
Well, it's just not sticky enough to be spiderwebs. He's quite large. He needs all the help he can get.
But he's sticking on not a flat surface.
Maybe that's for when he decides to leave his tangled web, which was inside an asteroid. And the reward for dealing with one of the most aggravating starbitless bosses is some pretty funky looking silk. Everything decided to glow ominously white. Oh, what a tangled web we weave.
You can't use that, it's used as the name of the thing.